This is exactly how we would get into graphic design if we could start over. For context, we've both been running successful graphic design businesses for multiple years, helping clients in all sorts of different industries transform their brands through strategic design. We've evolved from barely charging sustainable rates to now booking $10,000 plus design client projects. So it's fair to say that we have learned a thing or two about building a graphic design business.
Through our years of experience, we've developed our own proven systems that help us attract our high value clients without constantly having to chase leads. And if we could go back in time, this is exactly what we would do and tell our younger selves.
Step one would be developing a premium brand identity that speaks to our dream clients. First impressions are everything. And when you're a new designer, we often tend to display all sorts of different projects and showcase all of our skills. But the key to attracting dream clients and positioning yourself as an expert is picking out your best projects, showcasing those in your portfolio, and building a brand image that's going to attract the people you want to work with.
The people who are shopping your portfolio need to be able to see themselves in those client studies.
And be consistent with it, from your messaging to your visuals to your social media content to your website design. Everything needs to feel connected. And it needs to be consistent and cohesive so that you can start building credibility and your dream clients can start remembering you easily. If you're positioning yourself as a brand designer and you want to help people with their brands, your brand also needs to look like a premium brand.
The second thing that we would do is to define a clear value proposition. So what this means is that you're not selling all of the deliverables that you're going to be giving your client, but you're going to be selling the transformation that happens with your client.
This is the difference between designers that struggle to attract premium clients and the ones that actually successfully do. High-ticket designers appeal to high-ticket clients by selling the transformation and the results. They're not just selling a logo, they're not just selling a brand identity, they're not just selling colors or typography, they're selling increased revenue, increased credibility, increased memorability. They're selling the results that come from having those things.
The thing that high value clients care about is the bottom line. So you need to focus in on the results that you're going to give them and focus in on the converting of their dream clients.
Position your services as an investment, not an expense. An investment is going to grow the business and bring them better results than what they're already getting right now without your services. Whereas an expense is something that they pay and maybe they get some deliverables from it, but it doesn't bring a transformation. And the key here is to effectively communicate how your services are going to help them see a transformation and get real results so they're willing and ready to invest in your services.
One of the other things that I would do is focus in on how I can retain that high value client to be a client of mine for years to come. So I would create a retainer service or do more website updates for them on a regular basis, something where we can have an ongoing client relationship.
Because building a brand is something that constantly changes and evolves over time. It's not a one and done situation, and you can position your services to support your clients long-term to build those relationships and continue getting referrals and continue growing your design services and your design business.
Once somebody invests that initial investment into you, they are far more likely to keep staying with you investment after investment because you've already proven that you know their brand and you can do a really good job serving them and their clients.
It's also extremely important to have a really clear, high-level design client experience and design process. Because if you want to attract high-value clients, grow your business, you also need to have a clear, structured process where clients feel comfortable investing in you and they understand what's going to happen after working with you and want to come back for more and more and more.
We always ask ourselves what's working. And so I love that question because if you know what's working, you can replicate it again and again and keep having happy customers over and over again. The other thing that I would do is set my boundaries right at the beginning so they know what to expect. And it kind of sets the tone for the entire rest of the project.
Instead of saying, okay, I can make you a brand identity, send over your email address, let's get started, you should introduce your services in a structured way. For example, let's start with an onboarding call, an initial strategy session, so I can really understand your brand and your goals. Let's work in a project management system so that there is clear, effective communication all in one place. Let's have feedback sessions, and here's how this is going to flow. That way, your client fully understands the process, and it gives you an opportunity to set better boundaries in your business. This is a huge piece of the process when it comes to building a graphic design business that most designers skip, and it later on backfires really badly.
For example, one of the things that I do every time I get a brand new client is I send her a bouquet of flowers. And every single photo shoot you'll ever see that has me in it, I will be having flowers. It's just something recognizable. And it's just a small thing I do. And it makes her really, really happy. She feels really cared about.
It elevates the client experience and it just ties into the design process. And it's also part of what makes Marissa and her services unique. For me, I love to send my clients a printed version of their brand guidelines. It's the little details like this that can truly make a client remember you and want to refer you to others and come back again and again.
Step number 4 of what I would do is focus on building my credibility and having a really good network.
Some ways you can do that are, number 1, by making content on the internet. And that's one of my personal favorite ways because most of my clients have come from social media. I posted years and years and years showing my design process, showing my client transformations, showing my design work, and ultimately learning how to speak the language of my dream clients, which has resulted in many, many successful projects.
One of my favorite ways to do this is to be a guest speaker. I like working with industry leaders, and leaders are always looking for high value content that they can share with their communities. So I love in-person connection and being able to come and talk to my clients' teams, helping them understand marketing, how to better understand their brand, how to talk in a branded way. We've done some sessions like that, and clients are just really appreciative of it because sometimes it sounds better if it's coming from another person and not from them.
That's also a really good way to gain referrals. And I really like to partner with adjacent industries. So for example, I may make a connection with a copywriter and we might form a referral partnership. So like if they have a client who needs a website, they can refer that client to me. If I have a client who needs copywriting, I refer the client to them, and it's a mutually beneficial relationship. And this can really, really help grow your network.
Also, get on podcasts. It's so good to practice public speaking, talk about what you do, who you do it for, and just imagine all of those listeners, like if they were in the room with you, that would be incredible for your business.
And step 5 would be to make sure that you're positioning yourself and your services correctly. One of the biggest differences between high value, high ticket designers and newer freelancers is the way they price their services. Clients are not paying for your time, they're paying for your value. So consider switching from hourly rates to charging based on the value that you are providing and the project itself. Every single client is different, and we even have a free graphic design pricing guide that we'll link below for you to download so you can see exactly what I mean.
If I could go back and tell my younger designer self, I would tell her to stop offering everything under the sun. I don't need to be a jack of all trades and a master of none. I need to narrow in. For example, I have really niched down into helping the beauty industry. I know exactly what beauty service providers need in their deliverables to have a successful beauty business. And I make my packages designed around that, designed around what they need for their dream clients.
And that really helps you speak to that industry. And that's something that's really hard for designers because usually we come into this industry with a lot of different skills. We can do video editing, we can do social media management, we can make brochures, we can make business cards. But the key to positioning yourself as an expert is picking 2 to 3 key services that you want to offer and structuring those packages for your dream clients. Because when a dream client is looking for a designer, if they go to someone who has all sorts of different services, and then they go look at your page and see that you offer services specifically tailored to them and their industry or their personality or whatever it is that they're struggling with, they're probably going to be more inclined to reach out to you versus the other person. And if you're really struggling to increase your pricing and attract higher paying clients, consider learning more about brand strategy. When I was a new designer, I didn't really know much about strategy at all. I just knew how to design what the client wanted. But high ticket designers attracting high value premium clients are not just making what the client wants, they're designing with a true strategy, again, to get a transformation and bring tangible results to the client's business, which is why they're willing to invest thousands of dollars into our services.
Because here's the thing about high-level design clients, they don't want yes men. They don't want somebody to just kiss their butt and do exactly what they want. They want somebody who sees the bigger picture and is going to help increase their bottom line.
Period. So there you have it. That is everything we would do step by step to start and build a graphic design business if we were to start over today.
If you follow the steps in this video, we promise you will start seeing results in your design business and start attracting more dream clients. But doing this alone is easier said than done.
You'll likely struggle to attract dream clients, navigate pricing, and ultimately scale your design business. You may even spend months or years trying to attract high value premium design clients with little to no results. And I speak from experience when I say that. I started out charging $75 for logos, and it took me a long time to figure out how to attract high ticket clients. So you can keep trying to DIY, keep watching YouTube videos, or you can get support in a design community that gets it and learn from us directly during bi-weekly design therapy sessions, mini mindset and marketing lessons, and much more inside of our Social Butterfly Club membership, specifically made for designers. This is where you'll get our 5-phase attraction marketing system that gets clients to come to you instead of constantly having to chase down clients, cold pitch people, or rely on things like Upwork or Fiverr, because we all know those platforms are saturated and offer really low paying jobs. Just last week, one of our members got her first dream client after posting content on Instagram for 1 week following our marketing playbook. And she has less than 100 followers. I'm gonna put her testimonial right here so you can see it coming from her directly. Like, you do not have to have a lot of followers. You don't have to feel ready. You don't have to have a big audience to achieve these design business goals. The link to join Social Butterfly Club will be in the description, and make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video.
And make sure to watch our other video breaking down why most designers struggle to book $10,000 projects.
So you can identify what works and what doesn't and make the changes you need in your design business to start attracting those high ticket clients.